Yeah, and skaters from here in Orlando were with them in Wichita actually this week. So we have Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie, who's joining us live from the Orlando Ice Den. So Amanda, this loss is, really hitting close to home for many of these local skaters. Talk to us about that.
It's just a gigantic loss for this ice skating community because they are so tight-knit. It's a small community where I'm told everybody kind of knows everybody or knows somebody who knows somebody, or they were coached by the same coach. So there's just an opportunity to run into each other at a bunch of these competitions and trainings. I have the director of the ice skating here, BJ Chapman, for the Orlando Ice Den, and this is just such a loss, and mostly of young children that were ice skaters. How are you coping with this news?
Well, I mean, it's devastating. It's a very, like you said, figure skating is a very small world, and we are very competitive, but at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat, rowing down the same river. We know what these kids go through every day in training. We know the coaches, and it's just awful. It's just awful.
And some of your figure skaters here were in Wichita, Kansas, likely running into some of these young ice skaters that were on that plane, tragically. What were those moments like leading up to this horrible tragedy?
So the skaters from Orlando all made it home safe. Nobody was on the plane. But the kids at the development camp, which was like an elite seminar that happens after the U.S. Championships, we did have two families from our rink who traveled to the development camp. And these are little children. They're under 18. They are not old enough to compete at the senior level, but a high enough level to qualify for a very elite camp. And they had classes and seminars all, for the 2 days of the camp. And, they get their red jackets, and it's a very exciting thing because you can only get a jacket if you're part of the camp, and the kids are proud of it because they've qualified, and it's exciting. The group of kids sit in the stands and they watch the higher level kids compete, and they throw little stuffed animals onto the ice, and they sit as a group, and they did everything together basically for 2 days. And it is hard. It's hard for them because they are little children trying to cope with the thought of other kids like them who didn't survive, and they have to. I have said to people, this is the time to mourn and be sad. But tomorrow, we have to get up and keep going.
It's just so devastating to see some of the pictures on social media now. You talk of these young ice skaters and wearing their jackets, all posing together, smiling in what was such a happy and fun event. And they had so much potential and promise, because you were telling me that a lot of these ice skaters go on to be selected for the Olympics. Right. And now their lives have been tragically cut short. It's just an unimaginable loss. How are you trying to help the young ones cope with this?
I think by reminding them that we have to go forward. You have to go forward. We have to. Everybody is sad. Everybody in our community, whether you knew anybody or not, it's a terrible thing. And these little children were some of our future, but not all of it. And we are devastated by the coaches that were lost, because that's an unknown amount of knowledge. They had several competitors at the competition and several skaters at the camp. And so you don't even know what you've lost, because what would those coaches have continued to do? And there is a future that has been lost, but there are many, many skaters that were not lost, and there is hope. And all of those people on the plane, all of the skating people, would have pushed our kids and our coaches to keep going and go on and honor their memory by being great. And I think that's how I have helped some of the kids that have spoken to me. My own son was a competitor at the competition, not in any danger, not on the plane, but certainly knew people on the plane. But you have to move forward. And so, yeah, today is a day to be sad, and it's a day to be patient with the skating community, and it's a day to remember to be kind, and tomorrow is a day to move forward.
Thank you so much. And as we were reporting, 14 people were part of the figure skating community on that plane, but it wasn't just the ice skaters, it was the coaches, it was their family members. So just an unimaginable loss. And we'll continue to bring you the latest throughout the day as we learn more information and as more of the victims are identified. We'll send it back to you in the studio.